if you enter into someone sexually, if that person has never reached that climax of intimacy, when you enter into that sexual agreement with them, that covenant, how heaven solidifies a marriage, because you are the first person to take them to that climax of intimacy which they never experienced, the emotion that they experience, the emotion that they release, and the emotion that you release, they exchange and they tie. So now that depth of love and intimacy is associated to that spiritual and emotional climax. And the person that took them there is you. That's why you'll find that males and females, usually with females, the person that took their virginity, they're so infatuated and obsessed with. It's hard for them to move on. I've just shown you how that happens. The person that took their virginity, they find it so hard to move on from that person. Why? Because that emotional height and that realm of intimacy of marriage was experienced with one other guy. And that guy, if his name is Tim, now holds a level of understanding to your heart which you've never shared with another man. So then you start making him someone that you visit more often, you call him more often. I can't get him out of my mind. And if that experience, that sexual experience where you lost your virginity, is also accustomed by an obsession you had because you had friendship or you had a relationship, and words were exchanged, not only were words exchanged, but affection was also exchanged in gift giving, in love languages, and in all these other ways that he showed that he loved you, it's even now more difficult to leave that soul tie.
Bro, they not telling y'all everything y'all need to know about a soul tie. And to use the word soul tie is just to keep the shit cute. We about to get to the real of that shit. A soul tie is really just an energy transfer, a spirit transfer. That means y'all souls, once y'all do what y'all do, y'all souls become married. You probably didn't physically marry her or him, but once you have sex with them, you marry them mentally and emotionally. That means all the demons that you got go to them, and all the demons and spirits that they got go to you. That's why it's so hard to break that shit off. Because a soul tie ain't just loving somebody so much. A soul tie is transferring of energies, spirits. That's why you can feel certain shit. That's why you think certain shit. I'm telling you.
Do y'all notice when you're around a certain friend for a long period of time that your menstrual cycle begins to sync? It's that deep, right? But in the same way, you don't think that if you lay with somebody who is not your husband, who is not your wife, that you don't leave with something, that their struggles don't become your struggles, that their demons don't become your demons? You really think that? But you being with a friend make your menstrual cycle sync together and y'all just near each other. But somebody you lay with that is much on a deeper level, sex is very deep. I don't care what nobody say. Like, y'all gotta understand. That's a portal that y'all opening. You mean to tell me you don't believe in soul ties? You mean to tell me that you just having sex with just anybody, it just does nothing for you? It's just out of pleasure? Stop lying to yourself.
When they say you have sex, you are joined in the physical act, emotionally, and spiritually. See, we don't think about that because we can go places and Netflix and chill. We can go places and hook up. What you don't know is that every time you hook up, you are joining to that person physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And it's supposed to be something that's never broken apart. And so that's why when you just hook up with that person and you rip it away, they always take a piece of you. Because it was supposed to be a bond that was only done with one person one time. And so if you're hooking up with them and you rip away, and then you hook up with them and you rip away, and you hook up and rip with them and you rip away, you will never be everything God called you to be, because people are walking around with pieces of you. Oh, I'm preaching good. All I'm trying to say to you is when God wanted a man and a woman to be connected, it was because they were supposed to be the one they were connected with for life. And I know society says you only live once, YOLO. No, believers, we live twice. And what we do down here matters. And us reaching purpose, and so many people connect with people and they don't realize. See, the thing is, it's so much deeper, and you form these things called soul ties. They're gonna have to bring me back and have a whole nother session on just soul ties. Because what happens is when you connect with people emotionally, what happens is the things that they deal with, they struggle with, it gets on you. You never were mad before, but you had a sexual relationship with that person and now you're angry all the time. It's because you didn't just connect physically, you connected emotionally and spiritually. And people used to have so much purpose and so much confidence and so much going for them. And then they made that wrong decision and connected with people outside of the covenant of marriage. And then it robbed something from them.
I used to think sex was just sex. You know, no big deal. It's just two people coming together to do something that we both enjoy. It's just a physical thing, a physical reaction. But what nobody told me was it gets deeper than that. It's a spiritual connection. The world makes jokes about, like snatching souls or being on demon time. And trust me, I'm no super serious person who just can't understand that it's just a phrase. But as much as it's a phrase, like snatching souls, it's also some truth to it. Sex in all its forms is a soul level exchange. It is a transference of energies. 1 Corinthians 6:16 says, two shall become one flesh. That's not just a physical body exchange. That is a spiritual connection. Your spirit with their spirit. Their spiritual baggage, their lust, their sin, their pain. The both of y'all are combining y'all's trauma together into each other, into this spiritual transaction. Then later on, when you're not around this person, you're wondering why you're feeling all heavy and depressed or feeling like you can't live without them. You can't stop thinking about this person. You just feel off and don't know why. That ain't just heartache. That's soul ties. That's a spiritual attachment. The enemy loves to make sin feel like a connection. Makes you feel included, like you're a part of something, like you're a group, like you're a couple with whoever or whatever you're committing that sin with. But all it really does is keep you bound. That's why it's called a soul tie. It ties you together to a point where you can't even do certain things anymore without thinking about that person, because y'all used to listen to this same song together when y'all was doing stuff. And now when you hear that song, it just triggers something in your mind. Two of y'all used to watch a certain show together. Now whenever you see reruns of that show that y'all watch together, you go to tingling down there. I'm just trying to let y'all know, y'all got to be careful with who y'all make these love connections with, because they might be making deposits into your spiritual bank, leaving their baggage inside of you. If you're going to be doing anything with anybody, at least make sure that you're okay with taking on their spiritual baggage. If that's okay with you, hey, to each his own. I'm just saying, I wouldn't be willing to invest that much into someone that I don't plan on spending the rest of my life with. Y'all stay prayed up out here, man.
Stop being addicted to sex. I know that's crazy, right? Because everybody tell you to smash all the day long. They lying to you. When you give yourself away, because most people don't even say this, just as much as they say women are giving away their bodies, I teach my boys that you're giving away your body too. You got all these soul ties with all these different people too as a man. And then when it comes time to be faithful to a woman, you don't have the habitual habit of knowing how to love one woman because you have created an identity based on who you sleep with, not who you know. You based your identity on how many people you knock down instead of the one person you can love. And let me say this, I'm gonna get haters when I say this. The best player in the world is one who can love one woman.
The most dangerous thing a woman can do is create a soul tie with a man without a plan for her. You got a soul tie with a man that's stringing you along with his glow with the flow mentality. How are you deeply entrenched, attached to this man that don't have a plan for you past tonight? Because y'all bodies connected far before y'all purposes did. Your heart is full on committed to holding on to him, and he ain't decided if he even likes you yet. You say he's inconsistent. No, he really just don't know if he with you like that. And before you confirm that this man has a plan for you, you created a plan for him. This gonna be my man. This gonna be the father of my children. You developed this plan in a man that's devoid of one for you. This is how you waste your time. Before you give your body, your heart, your soul, your mind to a man for him to keep, you better ask that motherfucker, what are your plans for it?
Name one thing we underestimate about men.
We underestimate the fact that men sometimes intentionally cause you to have a soul tie. That's right. They might not know what it's called. But ladies, don't get it twisted. A man will try to rush into having sex with you, will put it on you, make you speak in tongues, speak his names, feel intense feelings that will open you up and allow you to be vulnerable to forming a soul tie. And if he forms a soul tie with you and you don't have control over your feminine power and your feminine energy, now he does. Now through the bond, through the court, he can control you. He can control how you feel. He can control your desire to want him. And it makes it easy for him because now he has you at his beck and call. You're going to tolerate certain behaviors from him while he's moving on to his next conquest. That's why it's very important that you are careful who you allow in your body, who you're allowing to hit the bottom and make you speak in tongues.
I was like, I don't believe in soul ties. And he was like, why? I was like, well, I will have a whole lot of them for one. I was like, I don't have the same emotional attachment or whatever the way people describe the soul tie to everybody that I have come across. Why would there's people, and I'm gonna be transparent, it's women that I've slept with, it's multiple women that I have slept with, no ties at all. And was cool with them. I've had sneaky links 2 years at a time. Like 2 years plus. It was literally link, boom, boom, boom. Might seem she was with somebody, she might have nothing said, nothing felt. And then when we decide, we ain't gonna do this no more. I was like, cool. I've had women that I've been in relationships or got close to people where I felt like it was harder for me to detach. I'm wondering if most people would say, well, that was a soul tie. My question gonna be, well, what about the rest of them? Because by the time I was 18 years old, I had slept with almost 100 women. There's nothing biblical to attach that neither. Are we saying that the soul tie, are we saying that's a spirit?
Oh, look at you. Soul tie refers to a deep, often spiritual or emotional connection between two individuals, often exceeding the typical bond of friendship or even a romantic relationship.
Mm.
I never had a desire to actually read to see what a soul tie is outside of what others' opinions, the common opinion, which typically becomes somebody's truth.
Be that bad guy, but this is the reason why soul ties are so important. You're going around and you having raw sex with people. You are entering them, and y'all are sharing this really special situation, and then you leave and say, yeah, that's just my side. Sure. Oh, I don't even care about Tisha, but you're looking her in the eyes and you're giving her the best ever tongue in her ear. You're licking her ear. She can hear your thoughts. It's a whole bunch of going on.
I'm happy
and you think that you can do that casually, like every Tuesday? That deep ass shit I just described.
Yeah, they do think that.
Yeah.
And they think that it's normal. We're the crazy ones for getting attached and getting feelings.
You can't
and
listen.
I
don't get y'all crazy.
We're the problem.
I think you're naive, not crazy.
Now, I will say this.
He's giving me this great and I'm just so naive to believe that he actually cares about me.
He's doing it wrong, but then he's gonna say he's not ready for it, baby.
Listen, it's like no matter how much people say it, people just don't understand. Soul ties are real. The more mentally mature and experienced that you become, you will realize that every moment of temptation is not worth intertwining. A lot of y'all be so wrapped up like, oh, he cute, oh, she cute, they popular, they got money, they this, oh, they thick, oh, he this. You don't even know what that spirit talking about. See, this is why I like to interview people's spirit, their head, and their heart to figure out where they at. If you don't pass the vibe check, you can't get in. You don't get a wristband. You can't get in. And I don't think people understand that how powerful it is to be able to actually have discipline. It sounds like a lecture. It sounds so bad, but you will save yourself so much moment, have so much clarity and purity just by disciplining yourself and really stepping back and analyzing before you even get into it. So I just want to tell my kings and queens out there to please be more mindful before you just spreading yourself thin. Soul ties are real. Pay attention. At some point, that person's baggage become y'all's. Y'all think it's just one night, but then one night turn into every other weekend or once a month. Now, in some way, what they got going on or what they dealing with affects you. And it will. And you will get tired.
Call it soul ties.
Well, it's a way to break those. I'm not trying to be too spiritual, but it could be somebody that you was with 5 years ago. But when that cord is still attached to that person, you still connected to them, no matter where they are in the world. So you have to break that umbilical cord. is spiritual. All things are spiritual. The things we say, the energy we feel when we walk in the room. So that's another thing that's like, it's very sacred. I just don't give myself to know anybody. If the energy not right, you can't touch me, straight up. I done had situations where I done gave myself to the wrong people and just creepy.
Just
It
miserable.
wasn't right. You know, you can have sex with somebody and just be drained afterwards. They took energy from you. Or you can have sex with somebody that y'all give each other, y'all recycle the energy with one another.
Bro said how many soul ties can one person have? Bro, multiple. A lot of them, bro. That's why it calls to be careful who you connect with, who you sleep with. You feel me? Like it calls to be careful, bro, because it's a lot of people that's walking around here and they got different mood swings because they done picked up all these spirits from everybody they've ever connected with, they've ever slept with. Like, they done picked up all these spirits, so now it's affecting their character. So yes, bro, a person can have a lot of soul ties, multiple soul ties, bro. But the thing about having multiple soul ties is, bro, it's harder to break multiple than it is to break one. You feel what I'm saying? Because when you trying to break multiple soul ties, bro, you trying to break multiple spirits off you. You feel me? You trying to break every spirit that ever came with any of these people off of you. You feel what I'm saying? So one person can have a lot of soul ties, bro, and sometimes they don't even know it, bro. They don't even know it. They be with different people thinking about other people. You feel me? It's soul ties, bro. Real talk.
Something about soul ties. Soul ties is a real thing. Soul ties is a very real thing. And your body will let you know if your partner has soul ties with someone else or have severed ties with you. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to having when y'all doing the sexual thing, right? You know what I'm saying? If you ever experience yourself getting nervous to have sex with someone you've been having sex with for years, and I don't know how the women shit react, but men, you don't get an erection. You know what I'm saying? Your shit don't get right like it used to, and you just having this nervous feeling like you having sex with a stranger. That's soul ties. That's letting you, your body's telling you that it's an unfamiliar entity here. It's an unfamiliar soul here. Like someone done been here, or emotionally, she has soul ties with someone else. You know what I mean? So if you ever experience yourself being nervous to have sex with the person you've been having sex with for years, and you're not performing the way you always perform, it's because that person done soul ties with someone else, and your body has recognized that there's a unfamiliar soul here that it does not recognize. You know what I mean? If that make any sense. So
you got to be careful who you lay down with, because when you mix the spirits, that's what you do. You know, when you're having sex with people, you're bonding within that. That's when people break up, and they might break up with somebody, but that person could still have a hold on them. Tell them something, you get that phone call and that heart and the stuff like, because they're connected is a soul tie. So you got to be able to get that off of you too. You might break up with somebody, but there can be soul ties. You don't know what they're connected to as well. Anybody you've ever laid down with, I want you to say, take my spirit out of them. Say their name, and then take their spirit out of you and say that. And so if anybody's listening, they need to really do that. Because the thing about it is that you take all that to different relationships, and you take that wherever you go. You have a homie here, you know, and you see the difference within them. It could be the spiritual connection that they have with someone that needs to be broken because it's a toxic, you know what I mean? And demonic within that way.
Sex is the highest energy that you're ever going to create, right? It literally creates life. When y'all having sex with people and you're saying, this is my pussy, that's a spell. And you say, and you tell him.
Who else did we have to say that?
About Pastor Brian Meadows.
Pastor Brian said that.
My pastor said this?
He said that. He said that exact thing.
That's a spell. A lot of men, and that's what I mean, men practice witchcraft all the time on these women. That's why these women go crazy. And he's like, oh, you acting crazy. Well, you told her, this is my pussy. And she said yes. And now you are tethered. And you don't even know why you're going crazy because that guy treats you like crap.
Tethered.
That's the soul tie. That tethering is the soul tie. Y'all literally made a pact. Sex is the highest energy that you're ever going to create, right? It literally creates life from sex. So if you are saying chants, because that's literally what that is, while you're having sex, That is a whole ritual. He owns you until you break that soul tie, which most people don't even know how to break the soul tie. They don't even know that they have one. They just are living with it.
One of the most common questions I get is how to break a soul tie, and I hope I can help you with this. The soul is comprised of the mind, the will, and your emotions. The mind, biblically speaking, is what the Bible refers to as the heart. God said, guard your heart, for out of it pours the issues of life. But when you're love bombed, you're lied to, or you're manipulated, then what ends up happening is you lower your guard. Consequently, you join your heart to that person, and the joining of two hearts, or the joining of two minds, is what we call a soul tie. But there's a thread that joins those hearts or those minds together. And that thread is what is called a principle. And what you have to do when dealing with a principle, Amos 3:3, can two walk together except they be agreed? The way that you unravel or break a soul tie is you have to come out of agreement with that person. A lot of people break up, but they still have soul ties with the people they've broken up with. This is why a lot of marriages fail, is because a lot of people get married while they're still soul tied to other people. So in order for you to come out of agreement with that person, you have to study your way out. And essentially that person has to become a widow in that realm of thought, or whoever it is that they are tied to, they can remain married to them, but you have to make them a widow as it relates to you within that realm of thought, meaning they can no longer find you in that realm of thought. They can no longer relate to you. Now, there's only one true way to come out of agreement with a demonic or an ungodly principle, and that's by studying the word of God and coming into agreement with God, wholehearted agreement with God. And the more you study the word, the more you come into agreement with God. Now, the only way you're going to come into agreement with God, let me say this, you have to get understanding. The Bible says, above all thy getting, get understanding. So knowledge is great, but you have to get understanding. And the Bible says that wisdom is the principal thing. So you have to seek these things, and then that's what's going to bring you out of agreement with that person. And because the two of you will no longer agree, you won't be able to walk together, Amos 3:3, and you will have broken the soul tie. You're welcome. Love you.